Hey, what is up, guys? This is Zero Selects, and this that you're watching is the third battle of the first round of the OU tournament. Today we are watching a battle of between Wolf, Prince, and Draconairt25. So with that out of the way, let us jump straight into team preview and see potential threats that both members should watch out for. Things that you try to keep around to aid in their win, I suppose. Wolf is running a Hackstress, which could be proved to be very useful, as so just a potent wall breaker. Of course, Draconairt does have the Skarmory to deal with that, just relative, just fine, and also the Quagsire in case the Hackstress sets up a little too much. It's also running a Caesar, which is I want to assume is the Megas, is the only potential Mega that Wolf has on his team. So it could be, the Swords Dance set, or just, a simple T-Fox set to help Delphox there with the, of course, the rock weakness. So that aside, the Delphox though could prove to be very useful against the Draconair's team, as nothing really wants to switch in on his dual stabs. Of course, Sylveon can take on special hits, but if he's packing a Side Shock, Sylveon really is not going to appreciate taking those hits, depending on the build, of course. So Delphox is definitely going to be a key player. Just as a wall breaker. Then the last three things are what I assume to be Wolf Prince's defensive core: Umbreon, Rotom Wash, and of course a Donphan. Donphan, of course, doing doing several roles at once. Setting up Stealth Rocks and also providing crucial rapid spin support for the Delphox, which of course will free up the Caesar to a more offensive variant. So that's that. Trying to deal with the Umbreon, with Draconairt trying to deal with the Umbreon might have a bit of difficulty, simply with just how bulky Umbreon is. He just needs to be able to catch it on a switch with Caesar or something like that, and go from there. But anyways, let's go talk about Draconair's team. He seems to be running a Sticky Whip team, which of course Galvantula always signals Sticky Whip team. Although Draconair's team is it's not really built to fully abuse Sticky Whip outside of Charizard. Everything else is more either like slow, really bulky things. So maybe it'll work out for him. Who knows? Next, of course, is a Caesar, and which I assume to be more of a banded variant, most likely, because of course he has the Skarmory with Defog. He has a Charizard, which could be the Mega. I mean, why else would we run a Charizard if it's not a Mega? So I'm assuming this to be banded, or maybe even Assault Vest. Of course, Quagsire, Skarmory, and Sylveon core will be kind of difficult to deal with, just because, of course, the synergy that it brings to the table. And the last thing, of course, is the Charizard, which is a huge threat. You have to guess what kind of Mega you're going to be dealing with. Switching to the wrong variant, and you kind of get destroyed. Switch into a special wall, trying to take a Fire Blast. It turns out to be an X, and it sets up in your face. It's not something that you want to, deal with. So Wolf Prince has to be really careful with that. So with that out of the way, let us jump right into the battle and see how it plays out. Wolf is going to lead off with the Hackstress. Immediately try to put as much of a dent on Draconair's team as possible, as Draconair is of course going to lead off with the Galvantula to get a Sticky Whip as soon as possible, which is exactly what happens. Sticky Whip goes up as Wolf sets up a little too early for just a little too early, but I'm guessing he just wants the immediate power to try to break through some of these walls, because they're really bulky. So there it is, and the fact that he led off with it most likely means that he sashed. It goes with Poison Jab though here, most likely predicting the Sylveon to come in. It paid off for him, because Draconair does not switch out into Skarmory, which is for the most part a really good switch into Hackstress. He resisted his main stab. It's immune to Poison Jab, and if he's running Hackstress running Earthquake, well, he's immune to that as well. Galvantula, of course, survives the Poison Jab, also shines to his Quagsire, who for the most part can deal with the most physical setup sweepers, but not Hackstress, because Hackstress has, of course, that ridiculous 147 physical attack, does 80% to the Quagsire, which is ridiculous. Quagsire is going to for the Toxic, but we've revealed here that Wolf is running a Lumberry set, so that Toxic was a wasted turn. He took unnecessary damage with his Quagsire for no reason. But of course, now that Hackstress is locked into Outrage, Draconairt is just going to make it, get a free switch on to Sylveon. and just completely avoid any damage of any sort. He does Haxorus gets a 2-turn outrage. He becomes confused here, and Wolf doesn't want to really play with the chance of him hitting himself with confusion, so he's just gonna go ahead and switch out into his Bean. Why is it called Bean? It's just Rotom Wash, because I'm guessing this, special wall, but I guess not, because that Moonblast does a lot of damage. He goes for Protect here, and interesting to know he's running Moonblast and not Hyper Voice. Very weird. And here is revealed that Wolf is running actually a choice variant of Rotom Wash, most likely Scarf, looking at the build of his team actually. So he has the Scarf Rotom, he goes for the Trick, it fails, of course, it goes for the Protect. Now here Wolf is going to, of course, predict him to switch out into his potential Mega, which could be either Caesar or Charizard, most likely Charizard, as it does come in on this turn, I believe. Oh no, he goes on to Caesar. So goes on to Caesar, which means two things. He's probably Mega, or he could be Banded. For Bandit Rotom, it's kind of ridiculous to think about it, but it would have, of course, crippled the Rotom severely. And Scarf Caesar really is not that bad. He's not like the matchup at all, though. Wolf, that is. He's gonna go ahead and switch out into his Delphox. Wow, sorry about that. He's gonna go into his Delphox, and he takes a crit U-turn to the face, which is not looking good at all. Draconairt goes on to his Quagsire, which is really dangerous because Delphox nowadays, they like to run Power Hit Solar Beam, because Magician, things like that. So very, very, very risky switch for Draconairt. But I'm guessing Delphox, Wolf isn't running Power Hit Solar Beam variant, so he's gonna go ahead and switch out right back out into his Rotom, because for the most part it's a good switch into Quagsire. It's immune to Earthquake, resists the Scald. The worst thing that Quagsire can do to it is Toxic It. So that's that. So now Wolf is going to get another chance to try to cripple something with his Trick. And he actually ends up going for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting either Caesar come back in, or just to get some residual damage on this Quagsire. Draconairt is going to go for the Earthquake. I don't know if he predicted a switch or else a misclick, but it was a weird play nonetheless. Does that. Wolf is, of course, going to switch out from there, because of course he's locked into Will-O-Wisp. He does not want to give Charizard to get a free switch, so he's going to go ahead and switch out into his Donphan. Wow, I'm completely spacing out here. Draconairt is of course going to switch out to Sylveon, I believe. Yeah, he's going to go to Sylveon. Of course, it's declared because on his team, so he'd get him burned. Really wouldn't have amounted to much. As you can see here, he does reveal the Steel Bell. As Wolf, I believe, gets his chance to set up his rocks. Just to try to apply pressure on his Charizard, force his Skarmory to come in and defog earlier than he wanted to. Sylveon is going to fire yet another Moonblast. Scores the crit, which is disappointing for Wolf over here. As he goes for the Rapid Spin, gets rid of the Sticky Web on this side, which that's great. He doesn't have to deal with that, because unless Draconairt gets a defog off soon, that Galvantula is going to down switch it and won't be able to get Sticky Web back up. But of course, Wolf is put a kind of opposite position, because of course Donphan has to take a crit Moonblast. So it's going to be kind of harder for him to deal with Caesar with that Donphan. Wolf, of course, going to go ahead and switch on to his Delphox, of course, resist the Fairy Stab. Unfortunately, gets another crit as he switches in. This Delphox really, really not doing too good right now. First, he gets crit with a U-turn, now with a Moonblast. Luckily for Wolf, though, he does not get doesn't die from the crit Moonblast, so he's going to be able to get a side shot, take the leftovers off of Sylveon over here. But he's just going to end up dying anyways. But not without, not before, getting off one final side shot on this Sylveon. But unfortunately, Draconairt just goes to Protect, so that was all for naught. Wolf is just going to end up sacking his Delphox here, because of course his Toxic is really low amount of health, and he won't be able to take anything, any other Pokemon items now that he has leftovers. That. At least he crippled this Sylveon just a bit by mitigating his passive recovery outside of Wish. Now he's gonna get a free switch out to his Caesar. Of course, immediately pressured Sylveon, because of course Sylveon really can't deal with Caesar. But he actually decides to stay in as Caesar Mega Evolves and sets up a Source Dance, which is of course a really ballsy play for Draconairt over here. He either, I don't know if he predicted that or he just didn't give a fuck because he goes for Toxic. I'm guessing he predicted the U-turn, predicting Wolfbreath, predicting to switch out. Didn't pay off for him though, because now he has to deal with a +2 Caesar. Of course, he still has a Quagsire, but he decides to go out into Charizard here. Of course, a really weird play because he could have just gone into his Skarmory. It does not take the Bug Bite at all. I'm pretty sure that crit does not matter. It's a +2 Mega Caesar, and Charizard just dies. So that's very disappointing. That's one potential Mega gone. The Caesar could very well still be Mega. Comes to Quagsire though. Of course, with his unaware abilities, completely mitigate Caesar's +2 boost. So of course, Wolf is going to be switching out. For the most part, Quagsire won't be able to 2 KO. Won't be able to OHKO flat out Quagsire, and he doesn't want to risk getting burned with Scald. So that's exactly what happens. He's going to go into the Rotom. Quagsire is going to fire up Scald and score the burn on the Rotom. That's really bad. Rotom really hasn't been doing too well this battle. He just managed to get one Will Wisp off from Sylveon, but it didn't really matter because of the heal though. That was really bad. But now he's gonna fire off a wish. I mean, not a wish, a trick. Completely cripple the Sylveon, which is one thing that he was really having problems with. Now that he's of course crippled, it's gonna be a lot easier to play around with. You just need to predict what kind of what move's gonna be coming his way. And he turns out to be a Choice Fix Berry, which is pretty interesting to note. He's going to fire up a Volt Switch here because, of course, Sylveon does not have leftovers anymore, so the damage is going to stay there. Unless Sylveon decides to go for the Wish. But in any case, he's going to Volt Switch out into his own Umbreon, which is yet again another kind of risky play as he goes for the Moonblast. He was probably predicting like Wish or something, which is the reason why he would have gone out to his Umbreon in the first place. Our in Wolf's position there, I would have gone out to the Caesar and try to set up yet again. Even with the Skarmory there, that would have been just the optimal play. As you can see there, the Moonblast did a little bit too much damage to the Umbreon. Umbreon decides to go for Protect here just to rack up some more leftovers recovery. As of course Draconairt has no choice but just to keep spamming Moonblast. And now Wolf is going to go make the switch onto his Caesar, which is what he should have done. No, he's going to go to his Dolphin. Guessing he was probably either trying to sack that or predict the switch. I'm pretty sure he was just trying to sack it. So of course, that low amount of health really was not going to be too useful. Again, if I were Wolf, I would have gone out to Caesar. I would have saved that Dolphin for Death Water later in the game. But he must know something I might be missing. But of course, now in comes the Mega Caesar. I believe he's going to take this chance to Source Dance up as Skarmory comes in, which is something that I was expecting to come in very early on. But now we see it. Of course, like I said, Wolf is going to take this chance to set up as +2. Assuming Quagsire come in, at least he would be able to at least do some damage, either that or just flat out switch on to his Umbreon or something like that. He is, in fact, though, packing the superpower, which is kind of, I don't want to say it's bizarre, but it's just an option that most people don't really consider Mega Caesar nowadays, especially on the Source Dance variant. It's solid 2 KO on the Skarmory as he takes a chance to defog it now, so there's a possibility of him being able to set up Sticky Web yet again, but I don't really see how it would be beneficial for him in this situation. We'll take advantage of it, of course. Which is what's going to be coming in, but of course, at 1 HP, he's going to die to practically any hit from Mega Caesar, which is going to be another superpower. Like I said, it would have been a 2 KO. If Skarmory had decided to roost that turn, it would have been just flat out OHKO. So Draconairt is just going to go ahead and sack his advantage there, get a free switch into either Skarmory or his own Caesar, which is what comes in. And at -2 defense, Mega Caesar really is not looking to use, so of course Wolf is going to be switching out of there. Going out into his Rotom, I believe. No, he's going to go into his Umbreon. I'm guessing he's trying to sack it. Because, looking at Draconair's team, it's really not going to be too useful. The only really use he would have is just wish passing. Mega Caesar, Draconair's Caesar actually turns out to be the mega of the team, which is really weird. And even weirder is the fact that he's running acrobatics. It does absolutely nothing because, of course, acrobatics has really low base power when you're holding an item, in this case, which would be Caesar's Mega Stone. So I don't really see why you will be running acrobatics. Wolf's going to be switching on to Rotom here, predicting yet another acrobatics, but he just switches in on a knockoff and just ends up dying. So I don't know if he was sacking the Rotom there, or just trying to, like I said, trying to switch in on acrobatics and fire off the Will-O-Wisp from the Caesar. But Rotom ends up dying there. Wolf's going to be switching on to his own Caesar here. Draconair's Mega Caesar is going to be faster than him, fire off a U-turn. And then, Wolf's going to have a pretty hard time dealing with the rest of his team. Of course, he still has a Quagsire, he still has the Skarmory, both of which can deal with the Mega Caesar relatively well. Wolf though is going to take the chance, of course, to Swords Dance up again, because this is his only chance at actually trying to make it back out of this hole he kind of dug himself into, or this position that he put himself into, or put into by Draconair. Goes for yet another Swords Dance as Skarmory turns out to go for the Roost. Really bad for Wolf, because now this Skarmory is right back at sturdy range. So this superpower, even if it would have O-code, he's not going to be able to do that because it's sturdy. So he gets a crit, which would have easily killed the Caesar, the Skarmory, if it wasn't for the sturdy, like I said. And finally, we see Stealth pop up on the field from Draconair's side. A little late, but I guess better late than never, am I right? But that's that. I believe Wolf Prince is going to fire off a Bullet Punch here just to guarantee that he'll be able to take out the Skarmory from that range. But he's actually going to pull a switch out to his Quagsire, as I do believe Wolf goes for Bullet Punch. And of course, given Quagsire's ability on Unaware, that Bullet Punch is going to do absolutely nothing. And things are not looking too well for Wolf Prince right now. The last two guys that he has outside of the Umbreon are physical attackers, which for the most part can't really do much for Quagsire. I mean, sure, he does have the Hatchers that, as we saw earlier, could possibly even take out the Quagsire from this range of health. But so long as he has the Skarmory, the Caesar, and the Sylveon there, you can't safely lock himself into Outrage. That's really bad. Comes the Umbreon, and on the Scald. Unfortunately for Wolf though, he does get the burn. Synchronized carries the burn over to Quagsire as well. So at least he got the residual damage racking up on the Quagsire, but of course, it's really, like I said, it's not really going to amount too much. He's going to go for Protect here, just to see maybe Draconair would like to switch out or something like that. I don't know, he just goes for Protect. And he's just going to advance talk to the bird here. So now Wolf is just down to his Haxorus and his Caesar. And things are looking pretty grim for Wolf right now. He's gonna go to his Haxorus, fire off I believe, Outrage, just so at least if he could take out the Quagsire, he could win the game with the Mega Caesar, which is what I'm guessing was what he was hoping for. So there goes the Outrage, takes out the Skarmory, because of course it was like at 6%. So would have taken him out. Would have taken him out. What am I saying? It's a really long battle. But of course, now that he's locked into Outrage, he gets a free switch on to Sylveon, and he's locked in. He's forced to stay in, and he's gonna end up down to a Moonblast. And he actually ends up going for the Heal Bow, which is a relatively weird play, because now of course Haxorus can switch out which I believe what this is what Wolf does. Draconair is gonna pull a switch out into his Quagsire, I believe. No, he pulls a switch out into his Caesar, and I believe Wolf stays in trying to fire up a Poison Jab on the Sylveon, but unfortunately for him, it doesn't happen. He breaks out Confusion now, but of course, without any boost under his power, under his belt. He really can't do much to Caesar. Turns out that the last move that he's running is superpower. Of course works as extra insurance against things like Skarmory, which otherwise kind of walled the set if he had, Earthquake. But unfortunately, it doesn't really do enough to a point where Caesar can unfortunately take him out, and just ends up down to a knockoff there. And it comes with last Pokemon, which is the Caesar. Draconairt proceeds to spam knockoff, but of course you can't knock off Mega Stone, so it doesn't really end up doing too much damage. Seraphim, of course. Wolf. Why am I calling Wolf Seraphim? God damn it. Wolf Prince is gonna set up a Swords Dance. Draconairt is gonna go for another Acrobatics because the Bug Bite almost takes out the Caesar, which is kind of ridiculous. 49%. That's a resisted hit too. But the combination of Bullet Punch followed by, Bug Bite followed by Bullet Punch will be able to take out the Caesar. But, he won't be able to take out the Quagsire from the range of field that he's at, which is really, really, really sad. Unless he gets a crit though, looks like Draconairt has the game in the bag. Yep, Bug Bite only does 46%, and Quagsire can just go ahead and take him out with the Scald. And actually does not take him out, but he does get the bird. So that's basically the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, there's really nothing much Wolf can do at this point. He could have clutched it there if he had gotten a crit, or if Draconairt had not gotten the burn with the Scald. But the RNG wasn't in his favor this time around. So we'll be taking the loss 1-0 in Draconairt's favor. Very good game though. Very aside from that Mega Caesar with relatively, this is our set, running Acrobatics on it. It was a pretty good match. Draconairt's team was pretty solid built. The core of Skarmory, Sylveon, and Quagsire was kind of difficult for Wolf Prince to deal with, especially when he kind of sacked his Rotom for no reason. But anyway, that didn't really amount to much anyways. Anyway, that was a really good match. Draconairt will be facing off in the semifinals with Skarm XD, I believe. So that'll be the thing. And that'll be it for this battle. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.